What's up YouTube, ODST General back again with Keep the Peace version 0.28. This is like my third time trying to re-record this video, guys, and the issue isn't me in this case, it's the game. The game is a mess, guys. I gotta be honest with you. I'll get more into it. I want to talk about the good and I want to talk about the bad because there's a little bit of both with this new update. But if you guys aren't familiar with Keep the Peace, because it's been quite a while since I've done a video on it, Keep the Peace is a indie game. Basically, it's a police management RTS, and small little one-man development team. We've covered it a number of times on the channel in the past, and they've been 9 months without an update. So this is the first update in 9 months, which is supposed to have a number of massive overhauls, including obviously the UI, if you guys are familiar with it. New AI skills, just new AI in general, and a lot of other stuff, new map, and all these other changes. So we've got all of our units set up here. I do kind of want to show this off to you guys a little bit. So before we get into it, I want to just pull up the officer management. So right now we've got a whole bunch of officers already recruited, and then you can see our candidates here. Now there isn't anything special about the candidates because I've already got all the good officers. If I go over to my officer Duffy J here, J Duffy, depending on how you want to read the name, he's got 3 advanced skills. So these are something that's new with the game, and you can see that he's got combat training, situational awareness, and driving tactics. So what this does is basically each of these gives him bonuses in various areas. Combat training makes him more effective at arresting people and hand-to-hand combat, or just hand combat in general. So I guess you could technically say hand-to-armed combat, he would be more effective too. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, perception distance and driving speed and handling, which I don't really know if the handling matters too much currently, but probably eventually it will. And you can see that basically all these officers have different skills and different levels of skill in these areas. And so that's one of the things, is we've basically got this whole new officer development system that's been added in. So I actually really like this system because it really allows you to specialize officers in different things. So you can have things like negotiators, you know, or, you know, people are actually like maybe detectives and something. So maybe if you have like, say, a shoplifter get away, you could then send in like a detective who's good at investigating or something potentially as a follow-up. And then, you know, you have like specialized people at like first aid. So maybe if you have like a SWAT team, you could have a like a medic on the SWAT team, and everybody else is like tactical or something. It just allows you to really specialize things. Now, as far as the police car modifications go, the modifications or the liveries and stuff are basically the same, but the things changed a lot here. So you can see there's definitely some bugs and issues with this new UI here with regards to that, because the police car, the sedan, is just literally copied over all the other vehicles right now in the designs. But basically, to select a design, you go in here and you have your kind of your standard designs as well as any saved ones. So BW01 is a save I had from before. That's actually an old save from a previous version of the game, which was black and white 01 or something like that. At any rate, so you start off like your 3 defaults, which is the standard default skin, and then your black and whites. And then you're able to do custom designs. And the custom designs, I've kind of got mixed feelings about, because in a lot of ways this is easier than the previous build, but it doesn't actually allow you to do like the decal system that was in the previous one. Now, I don't know if that decal is going to be coming back, where you could put like shields or like the actual word like police and stuff on the cruiser and rotate it and do all the other stuff that you could do. That was really awesome. At least I think you can rotate. It's been a while since I played and all the scaling and stuff, but I'm hoping that that comes back, because I did really like that system. And it's definitely missing from here. There's also, you know, well, there is a number of different policing vehicles. Like, I don't get why there's a plain choice and a custom cut scheme when you've got the solid colors and you've literally got the same color options here. It doesn't make sense to have plain, but it's in there. So that's the customization. So the customization's actually kind of worse, which is odd to me. I did miss one thing. There's also attachments, so you can change out the light bars and stuff like that, and your traffic directors and stuff, your TAs. Bull bars seem to be gone. If I recall correctly, there was bull bars, and I might be crazy, but I'm pretty sure they were in a previous build. And then, of course, you can name your units, and there is still the ability to send officers off to training, which is in a previous one. I've actually sent AO3 off to training, and I haven't actually really done that successfully in the new build. I've run into a lot of errors and issues, guys. I'll be honest, I'm pretty disappointed with this current build. There's a lot of bugs and issues, and the developers basically just shrugged it off as oh, that shouldn't be happening, or that wasn't in the testing build and stuff. But a whole bunch of people just basically ran out the gate. We're all reporting the same bugs, so that's kind of concerning to me. I get that this is an alpha and it's an indie game, but at the same time, people are paying for this product, so it's pretty disappointing when stuff like that happens. You definitely don't want to see it. So let's see if we can set up a patrol here. Let's basically do this. We can't finish that right now. We got a fight on our hands. So we got a fight all the way over here. We're gonna send AO1 and AO2. And they're gonna respond to this, and hopefully they'll be able to resolve this fight. There's 4 people there. 4 officers. Actually, probably should send another unit. AO3 is gone, so we'll send AO4 too. A little bit of a delay on them getting there, but hopefully that shouldn't be an issue. No sirens or anything. It's very quiet. You got some ambient city noise, even though there's no vehicles or anything else, or you know, crowds of people walking around. Just pretty quiet. So I've had a lot of issues with cars doing wonky stuff like that, where they're driving off onto the sidewalks, looping around when they're getting to scenes. These officers like walking away, for instance. I'm from the call initially. Like, these guys were responding code 3 with the first officers, and they just kind of casually drive up normal speed. An ambulance is on scene for the first person. Now, one of the issues I had in the previous one is that the ambulance wants to administer aid to somebody, and instead of actually stopping, they just got stuck in a circle and kept driving around, and my officers were basically permanently left rendering aid because the ambulance never came to pick up the victims. So it looks like our officers all managed to come out relatively unscathed here. We got a person with a knife we need to deal with too. So we're going to send 2 units to that one. We're going to send a unit to try and cover them. So what they'll basically do is, as long as the person with the knife is there, the first units will come out and hold guns on him and try to hold him in position. Then we'll bring out our supervisory unit, who isn't actually a specialized unit or anything. It's just a normal officer, but we'll have him try to negotiate the guy down. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to be leaving here. Neither is AO5, which is fantastic, let me tell you. So you almost need to tell him to respond automatically. So let's go on with this first call. So AO4 and AO2 shouldn't have anything going on, so we should be able to, in theory, free him up from this call here. Alright, so they've dropped people off at jail, so AO1 is now free. And we actually got the fight completed. This is a lot better than my last time trying to record this. My last time trying to record this is literally the first call I sent everybody on. 3 of my units went on one call. And then just freaked out and quit working. So we're going to try and have Samson negotiate with the target. We still got 2 officers with guns drawn, so Samson's going to try and talk the person down. I don't have anybody who's specialized in negotiating, but with 3 officers and 2 of them having guns on a person with a knife, in theory, this person should just surrender their knife and give up peacefully. It is possible that in this stage they could try to fight or run or do something like that, but I don't think that's going to happen. There we go. So that was a successful apprehension there. That's good. What are you guys doing? You're over there. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's have you quit. So AO1 is supposed to be... I think they're going to that fight. What's AO2 doing? They're administering aid. It's left the suspect over there, and the ambulance is getting stuck on the cop car, it looks like. This is AO2. We might need to send AO2 back to the police department so the ambulance can get through. I don't know if that's actually stopping it from getting through or not. So our supervisory unit's taking that person in. How's this fight going? Got a bunch of ambulances over here, but I don't see any of our responding units. There's a suspect that was spotted over here. None of our responding units have actually gotten here yet. All of the people are leaving in an ambulance. And now AO5 has turned around. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, so they're still administering aid. Okay, we need to send you guys back to the station here if we can. How do we do that again? AO2, go back to station. So the ambulance is still stuck. They're not moving. They're not pulling that last victim or anything else. So I think we're going to send them back. Oh, no, they're going to go back to the car on their own. That'll work for me. So I'm not sure if there's anybody left from that fight or not. We do have a person with a gun, so we're going to send a couple units down there. Yeah, I don't know. I keep getting suspect markers. Problem is that they don't seem to have the searching thing here either. AO5 is saying suspect in sight. Where is AO5? Yeah, I don't know where they were. They were seeing a suspect unless it was the one they were just dropping off. Yep, here we got a AO2 just driving into a building, driving right through it. Watching a little too much of the Blues Brothers there, I think is what it is. So 3 is returned from their training. And they should have received a star, I do believe, but they don't appear to have. So it's Vance and Quinn. Yeah, and neither of them have... They did get experience, though. They actually got a decent amount of experience, or at least Vance did. Quinn did too, and they got equal amounts. So I do think that if you're sending them away for that long, you should at least get like 1 star out of it. Seems kind of weird that you wouldn't even get like a skill for sending them off to the schooling at, you know, the one time. You had to send them more than once. So here's one of the issues I've encountered a lot, is that this is basically the police officer searching. They don't search like they used to. Now they just spin around while holding hands. And yeah, that's basically just sums up this patch. Yeah, and then they'll just do it until they're sick. Until they die from spinning too much. What is going on over here? So, like, here we've got... look at this. Yeah, holding guns into each other's faces and, like... I mean, you're in such a position that I don't... Now, I just told the other officers to negotiate. As soon as that happened, they, even though the person still got a gun, they all went up to try and get him by hand. Amazing. We got a similar situation, except for with a knife. So Samson, negotiate. And I like that they're not using a, I will say, they're not using like a megaphone or something cheesy like that. Like the negotiators in Emergency 4 all use like, megaphones and stuff. And it's like, this is just, he's a cop trying to talk somebody down with a knife, like, hey, you don't want to do this. It's stupid. I actually appreciate that. It's not something super cheesy like a microphone. Or not a microphone, but a megaphone. Even though it shows the megaphone emblem. AO4, what are you doing? Alright, so we've only got the 2 officers. I want to try and talk them down. With just the 2. It's probably going to be a lot less likely to work, so we're actually going to stun them back up here. Yeah, I wish I could, like, just close off calls. I don't see any way of doing that anymore. Sort of used to be able to do that in the other builds, too, and I'm pretty sure that was the case, and now you can't. So now I'm just, like, stuck with this call because somebody got bugged out or, there's, like, a suspect on the loose, and I can't do anything about it. Had to wait a good minute there before they actually started chasing. Wouldn't want to do that while the person was close by. At least this person's been running for a while and they're exhausted, so my officers are just catching up to him without issue. You can see, pretty sure this person's got a speed bonus too. You can see what a big difference some of these bonuses make. And I'm guessing they've only got speed 1. What unit is this, AO1? What officers do we have on there? So... combat training and driving tactics. It's actually kind of funny because I don't think the combat training necessarily gives them speed bonus. She was definitely outrunning the other officer though. Well, that guy's probably in trouble. Yeah, they've got combat training, both of them do. Backup just arrived on scene. Alright, we got a person with a gun. Got more shoplifting stuff. Got another fight. Go ahead and send 2 units here. Yeah, I mean, so when this is working, it is an improvement, generally speaking. I am a little bit disappointed by some of the customization options, some of the bugs, like these floating UI things that are like way above in the sky at like lower angles. But honestly, the biggest issue I've had is just the AI absolutely failing. And apparently some of this was known issues. And, you know, I guess the devs are claiming that they thought they resolved at least some of this, but just the whole thing is really stupid. AI doing like really weird stuff, you know? I don't know where AO4 and AO5 are going. I don't think I signed into this call. Oh, they've actually got people in custody. I think, maybe. Are they going... What are they doing? Yeah, like they just... Like they pulled up over here, stopped, got out at the intersection. Like they actually got out of the car for just a second there. A little quick blip, and now they're turning back around. Like, see, this is really weird. It's like they're following the ambulance because the ambulance took a suspect or something that they wanted. So they're trying to chase the ambulance around, trying to get their suspect back. But they don't know what to do because the ambulance is changing directions and stuff like that, too. Yeah, see, they're going everywhere the ambulance is gone. The ambulance stops, they get out of the car. It's amazing. And not in the good kind of way. Alright, these guys are probably all held up in a big standoff. Sure enough, they are. Samson, you've been really good with that negotiation recently. Here, let's try to have you negotiate. Oh, you got a little too close. So when you get in super close like that, they seem to try and argue. So we're gonna have him get in there and help out. See, I accidentally clicked next to the person, not on him, so he ran up to him. That was on me. That was my bad. Yeah, so you can see, yeah, they've got a bunch of suspects now that have been released from the hospitals, because what seems to happen is that the suspects, if they get injured in the fight, they'll get taken by an ambulance, and then after the ambulance drops them off at the hospital, they'll get released, and then the police will then take them into custody at that point. Or, yes. Well, not necessarily take them into custody, I guess, because they just left him, but, like, they, I don't know if they're serving them papers or what, but they seem to do something with them. Okay, we'll send our units after this call. Oh, we've got another shooter situation here, too. We'll send AO3 and AO2 down. So let me take another peek here, see if any of our officers have gained any skills or anything. And actually, a couple of them have. Vance and Quinn, that's schooling now that they're back, has paid off and pushed them just over the precipice so that they've unlocked some skills. So now we can go in here with these two officers, and you know, we don't have a negotiator, so I could then take this and say, hey, he's more effective at negotiation. So now we've got Vance the negotiator, and we could do the same thing with Quinn, make them both good negotiators, and maybe we could say, hey, yeah, one was a negotiator and the other one's a medic, in case things go south when they're negotiating. Which seems likely. So we got a couple of standoffs going on here. We got a person with a knife over here, and then this person over here with a gun. They're down here resisting. AO2 is going to pull up and try to assist. Looks like AO2 is by themselves. Yeah, Washington's out. Actually, no, it says he needs medical attention. Where's his partner, Bird? His partner's just MIA. Can I send him to the hospital? I don't know how to actually do that. Oh, they did say these animations are placeholders, if not just missing altogether, so just keep that in mind. Although it is really funny. What's going on over here, guys? Looks like you are holding a gun on the person. Looked like they were choking each other there for a second, like Homer and Bart Simpson, you know. Alright, so we'll try to talk down the person with the knife here, and then we'll send him over to help with the gun suspect. Alright, perfect. So they're done over here, so let's go ahead and send him over to negotiate with this person. What do we got going? We got a couple of things going on here. The AO2, you try to get over there, even though this is obviously more serious, but you're a little bit closer. We'll send both those units down. Negotiations did not proceed well. Duffy is lying in the street dead and bleeding out. Actually, he's probably alive, but he's in rough shape. Now, I don't know what happened to his partner, May. And yeah, I can't... They don't have the cameras anymore. May just seems to be hanging out in the cop car. I don't know what happened there. They got their gun on the ambulance. Okay, they got that person in custody. AO2 seems to have gotten the shoplifter picked up. Send the AO4 up here. Yeah, I mean, so you guys are getting probably a pretty good idea. It's pretty similar to what it was before, obviously, just... the big thing is definitely it's mostly just comes down to negotiation and stuff like that. But you guys can kind of get a better idea of how many officers around have an impact, obviously. And maybe you didn't notice this, maybe you did, I don't know. But this person here, for instance, they actually attacked the one officer when it was just like the one cop by himself, presumably. I don't know what happened with this person, why they got in the car or whatever happened there, but the negotiator came up obviously afterwards, and they were trying to talk the person down, and they were making a little bit of progress, which I was actually surprised by themselves. You know, Samson was actually kind of talking the person down. with no backup or anything, with the other officer lying on the ground bleeding. But then the other officer came out and sped up a little tiny bit, and then once these other two officers arrived on scene, then it actually really sped up, and that's actually when they made the progress on it. Send these guys out to interview. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but might as well, right? Actually, let's do this. You need to negotiate with this person. We have another call going on here that we're going to need to send people out to, but... so you gotta send AO5. Oh. I'm gonna send you back to the station. And AO1 seems to be bugged too. Okay. The other call with the knife disappeared. That's weird. So AO1 is not going down to talk to that witness, and the AO5 wouldn't either earlier. I don't know if this is an issue with just AO1, or if it's because they already interviewed that witness earlier when they responded. Don't know. Alright, Supervisor L1 got that under control. I think we're going to go ahead and call it here, though, guys. This is Keep the Peace version 0.28. This was much smoother than my first video. I'll be honest, guys, I have a lot of negative things to say about this update so far. But generally speaking, I want to try and reserve them a little bit more, I think, until I get a little bit more playtime with it and we see what these upcoming hotfixes look like. The development team has promised at least pretty quickly 2 hotfixes coming out because there was some issues they were aware of prior to releasing it, so probably gonna reserve judgment for those hotfixes, and I guess we'll kind of see what those look like, and we'll continue coverage as that happens, and hopefully we won't have to wait 9 months for the next sizable update, because honestly, there's definitely some big stuff. Wasn't really a whole lot of really tangible stuff, I feel, that was added to this, so we'll have to wait and see what this looks like, and hopefully they'll be able to get all these pathfinding issues and just weird AI decisions and stuff sorted and fixed. Alright guys, let me know what you thought of Keep the Peace version 0.28 in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy.